Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Figures of Action Reviews, and today I want to go into Jada Toys. And the reason why I want to go into Jada Toys is because you see it right here, the Street Fighter figures plus the Mega Man figure as well. And I've been hearing some things on YouTube from other content creators. Also been seeing a lot of criticism, between other social media platforms such as Twitter and Instagram. Now, I'm, for one, not going to throw any shade because I like Jada Toys and I like the figures that they've created. There's been a lot of comparisons of, especially with the new Storm Arena figures that are coming out. And now I will say those Storm Arena figures are nice. They are very nice. And I even got two. Well, I got them pre-ordered. So I'm waiting on mine to come through whenever they do come through and they get them to the States. So I think one of the biggest hurdles is that the Storm Arena is only through Big Bad Toy Store right now. So I guess anybody who's like me, who's stuck in the pre-order phase and waiting on the figures to come in, we're waiting to get our hands on them. Now, I do know there are also some people who actually have them already. So kudos to those people who have those, because I've seen them, throughout the different YouTube content, and they really have shown why Storm Arena has, deserves the kudos and deserves the job well done with what they've done with those figures. Now, that is by no means to put down Jada Toys and what they were doing, because before Storm Arena even came on the scene and said, hey, this is what we're doing, everybody that I could see was saying how great these figures were and how they couldn't wait to get their hands on these figures. At first it was, I need to get my hand on Ken. I can't find Ken. I can't find, it was like, I can't find Player 2 Chun-Li. Found Player 2 Chun-Li. Oh, I can't find Gao. It was a celebratory event when, different toy hunters were going in the stores, and then they would find somebody like DJ or Dalzim or Cammy, something outside of the initial three, which was Chun-Li, Fei Long, and Ryu. So, it's like, I have to give Jada Toys their credit because, man, they have really brought some nice action figures to the table, and it's of a line and a series that I myself am familiar with, and something that I grew up with my childhood, plus something when I saw it, I was like, I want it. I want these figures. Now, I can tell you straightforward, man, the articulation on these figures is great. They're really great. And let's put it like this. Let me not glaze. Let's not glaze. The articulation is very good. It's not excellent, but it's very good, especially for $24.99, which shows that we could have good articulation in figures that don't have to cost $50 to $60 or higher. That all this whole tooling and production cost is a load of crap. It really is. And if you don't want to take my word for it, if you're looking at me as like, well, I don't think you know what you're talking about, just go over to Articulated Ninja and watch his latest video, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not going to dump on Jada Toys at all, because before anyone else was showing you what they were bringing, Storm Collectibles had their own Street Fighter line, and they weren't 6-inch. I don't know why Big Bad Toy Store had them in the 112 scale section, but they are not. Those figures are huge compared to traditional, 112 scale figures. But you're doing something right when you have other companies and toy makers looking at your stuff and going, that's cool, but let's do our own. And I am all for competition. I am all for competition because I like variety. I like it when another company comes up and says, we want to develop stuff as well. We want to put out stuff as well. That's how we ended up getting Bobby Valor in the Vanguard. That's how we ended up getting the Bread Van from Ramen Toys. And, the Spirit of Vengeance, which Hasbro tried to charge extremely too much for, ended up being the Ramen Racer. And now we got tanks coming from Ramen Toys. Gridiron Studios is putting out their own 6-inch scale vehicles. So the list goes on and on, you know, especially when, you know, Hasbro is too busy doing HasLabs and saying that HasLabs are needed. But then you have companies like Valaverse putting out vehicles that don't need to be crowdfunded, but people are buying them. And they're buying these vehicles at much less cost than what the HasLab is costing. Now, don't give me that whole, but it has lights and it has sounds and it comes with a figure. Yeah. Just remember the Rattler, they gave you patches. Okay? Now, back to the topic at hand. Jada Toys. So, we have Ryu here. Now, I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with exactly which part of Street Fighter these figures are from. These are from Street Fighter 2 Ultra. So, yeah, they have a little unique look to them. They don't have that younger look, or they don't have a more distinguished look, or they look different from what you got from stand up Ryu, from what you got from SH Figure Arts. Now, at the time when we got this from SH Figure Arts, I know you can stand up. You just playing with me. There you go. So at the time when we got this figure from SH Figure Arts, this was about 2017, I think I got this guy about 2017, and it was popular. It was good, and people were like, "Yeah, this is awesome. This is good." But it was pricey. And those who really wanted it paid for it, such as myself, which is why I have it. But kudos to Jada Toys, who came in and said, "No. We know we can do better for far less. So you're not paying $60+ for a figure with single knee joints. You know, we get with this one, we get the double knee joints, and we get a significant raise. Look at that raise up on that knee. You know, you see that? It's not a huge big break in the knee, and it's nice. Now also, straighten that foot up, my boy. Straight up and down. He can literally do a split. Pretty much a lot of these figures can do a split. Now let's see how high the kick gets us. So on standard, this is how high the kick goes. Now I've seen how high the kick goes on the new Storm Arena. Now come on now. If you had a chance, let's just put it like this. If somebody put out a product that you thought you could make as well, but you could put your own spin on it, and you had a chance to see their product up close in person and have it in your hands, and then you went to development with your own, shouldn't you come out with something that has some kind of improvement based on the design you were handling? That's what I would think. I was like, hey man, you know, how would it be like, you're like, oh, you bring out the same thing with no improvement and say, oh, we did it too. It will be just like copy and paste. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going to bring out your own thing and you're going to say, well, we're going to do it too, but we're going to put our own spin on it, there better be something unique about it that makes me want to buy it and goes, oh yeah, you took what was already good and made it better. Cause like with this Ryu, now we get a decent kick on this too. Now, one thing we don't get is we can't take, as you can see that, you can't take the gi off. You can't take off the gi here with the SH Figure Arts. But it's 2017 and they probably wasn't thinking like that. I mean, I hate single jointed knees, but they made them look good. Unlike Star Wars The Black Series, it's just like the whole articulation with that is just trash. But you can sort of get a sit down with Ryu. It looks discombobulated. I'm not even gonna front with you. That look discombobulated as I don't know what. And it look like he about to snap his knee, and I'm not gonna do that. This figure, it doesn't deserve that. That's not to say that I won't buy the. I'm definitely buying it. I'm not even gonna front with you. I'm buying the Storm Arena figures, and hey, just like when I was on the grind on the hunt for the Street Fighter figures, I'll be buying the rest of whatever else comes out with those too. So, you know, it's just all about what comes out, what I feel like I like. If I like something enough, I'm going to get it. If I like something well enough and I think it looks good, I'm going to get it. And this Ryu looks good. especially being on the Street Fighter Ultra 2. So, I mean, if anything, Jada Toys came out and showed Hasbro or exposed Hasbro, like, what you doing? Like, why are you out here, faking it with your fans and collectors? And let's prove it, right? So let's put that to the test. What? Look, right? Let's move you over here. We have Wolfsbane, right? Wolfsbane came out not too long ago, and she has this poor articulation body, and she was $24.99. This is supposed to be a character that could basically crouch down and, be able to get low, but she has no decent ab articulation. As you can see right here, there's no real decent ab articulation, and she only can move so far with her ab, with the ab crunch she does have, without you having to heat the top up, pop it off, dremel down on the inside at the top to give her an extended range. It shouldn't be like that. This character is supposed to be a very agile character that could move and give you all kind of different poses, but she's stiff. She's stiff and she lacks decent articulation. What's crazy is that Jada Toys didn't like totally change what was done. For one reason, let's look at Cammy. Now, Cammy has that same upper ball joint articulation, but she also has articulation down here at the cut in the waist and the pelvis, which is much different from what Hasbro did when they gave you the ball joint and then they gave you the ab crunch down here to give them the female figures better articulation. And we already know we love this. We love this, and we've been telling Hasbro, put this on use this as the female body bucks. But Hasbro just doesn't want to do that because, like I said, in my opinion, Hasbro won't do it because they know if they give you a figure or of a character that you feel like is the best one, you won't buy another one. So it's kind of like, well, they don't want to, not, get rid of the customer base when they can just over time just pass out the same figure. If you don't believe me, look how many Wolverines we've had in the past year. We've had Wolverine, just back to back to back to back. We've had different Cyclops figures. We've had multiple Spider-Man figures. And then most recently and egregious is that they had that Gamerverse symbiote suit Spider-Man with no butterfly joints. What sense did that make? What sense did it make? Only for it to be leaked as a rumor, but we all know some of these rumors prove to be true over time, that they're planning on having a Maximum Spider symbiote figure. And I'm like, for real? See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why they do that. They do that so they can basically sell you a figure and then wait for you to buy another one of the same character with a better body buck and articulation later on. Double, triple, quadruple dipping, because they ain't dripping nothing off the ladle. They ain't Hasbro not giving you nothing for real, Now, so one thing I will say is that this Widow can get down. She can get down. And that's what Wolfsbane is supposed to be able to do. Wolfsbane is supposed to be able to get low, crotch down, touch the ground, head down, almost. I'm not gonna repeat that phrase. If you know, you know. Wolfsbane is supposed to be able to hit poses like this. She's supposed to be able to get down, touch the ground without her knees hitting. But she can't even get her knees folded enough. Look, they're already touching. So she can't even get down, and then she can't even reach. She has no butterfly joints, so she can't even reach in between her body to touch the ground. But this Widow can. This Widow is older than this Wolfsbane. Ain't that crazy? Now, I will say something about Jada. Now, for Cammy, and maybe I'm just not articulating this figure right. She can crotch, and it looks good, but she can't get down. She can't get low, like super low, like that Widow. She can't get low like that. And I'm like, okay, all right, you can't get low, but she does for a figure that doesn't have any butterfly joints. She can definitely cross her arms. Which, if you get a Hasbro figure, a Marvel Legends figure with no butterfly joints, you ain't doing this. You're not having those arms crossed at all. But I will give them credit because this figure looks so good, and it will still articulate well. It's just that some things it just can't hit. But they're giving you this for $24. This is what you're getting from Jada for $24, and versus what you're getting from Hasbro for $24. And you definitely lacking articulation with this. Splits. Let's see. Can Wolfbane hit a split? Can she hit the splits? Nah, she can't hit a split. Nah, nope, not at all. She can't hit a split at all. But Cammy can. Cammy can hit the splits and look good doing it. What about her high kick? Oh, her hair came on. So this is her standing high kick. This is Cammy's standing high kick. Just like that. So yeah, she has some decent articulation. Something much more than most newer Hasbro Marvel Legends female figures. Which to me is crazy. And to me, it's like Hasbro, Jada Toys just showed Hasbro, this is how you do it. If you're gonna make figures without butterfly joints, this is how you need to do it. You need to give them a decent ab crunch. You need to give them a decent arm length so they can cross their arms. Now, like I said, she can't get low like this Widow right here. And I get that. That's to me, that's a minor flaw. It's like, hey, Cammy's supposed to be able to get down and touch the ground too, because she's a low agile fighter. If you ever played the games, Cammy's pretty much starts on the ground. She's good with footsies and trips. Matter of fact, her cannon spiral goes low and mid and high, but still I would expect for her to be able to touch the ground. But hey, for what you got for $24, she came out good, and she performs much better than pretty much all of your Marvel Legend females, except for this Black Widow figure. This Black Widow has been the exception. It has been the exception. Now, for articulation with Ryu, we can see how far he can sit out, and let's see, can he touch those? Can he touch those toes? Nah, he can't touch those toes, but he can almost get there. Which is funny. Now, see, I don't have a Storm Arena because, like I said, I've seen the Storm Arena articulation, and it's good. It's very good. Now, the Nesbex thing that Hasbro gave us with decent articulation. One of the things that Hasbro a little earlier thing was they gave us these Omega Rangers. And honestly, these Omega Rangers have nice, decent articulation as well. I mean, they can pull off things. They can't get quite low, but they can. But then they also can. They can also sit up too. Ta-da! Hey, don't hate me. I'm just saying. They already had this body book that they could have been using on their Marvel Legends figures, but they didn't. They didn't do it, and they've been selected.
So, unfortunately, my sound on my mic went out right here. So now you're gonna have to get this voiceover. There's no way I was gonna cut this video and do it over again. So here I brought in a NECA Sinjabot from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and what I'm saying is that the Sinjabot looks really good, and it doesn't have a whole lot of great articulation. It can hit splits. It can get somewhat of a kick. The belt blocks the kick from going all the way up, but overall, NECA isn't the best at articulation, but the figures look good. Now, here's something that's surprising when I'm bringing in this Spider-Man. Now, I'm actually giving you guys a chance to guess where this Spider-Man comes from. Exactly, if you can name what pack this came out of. Did this come from a retro card? Did it come from a multi-pack? We already know this is not the Maximum Spider-Man, that just came out. Obviously, you can tell by the thighs, this isn't some kind of kit bash Spider-Man. This actually came out from the Amazing Spider-Man and His Friends 3-pack. And the reason why I brought him in is because I wanted to show you that not all Spider-Man figures are built the same. What's funny is that this Spider-Man figure came out a lot earlier than the Scarlet Spider. It came out before the Black Secret War Spider-Man. It came out before the Spider-Man Retro Wave cards. But as you can see, look at this. Look at this pose. And I guarantee you, if you go and you go and look at the other Spider-Man figures that I just mentioned, try to hit that pose right there, where the feet are still touching the ground, the legs are tucked in, and the hands are able to touch down to the ground, and he can still look up. I guarantee you, you'll find out that it can't. Those figures can't, I should say. This figure right here has great articulation, and you know what? It can pretty much hit almost all of the poses that the new Maximum Spider-Man can hit. He can touch his toes. He can touch his toes. Now, I'm folding them up to let you see something, but you know what? I don't want to give too much away because I actually am making another video with this guy. And I just wanted to just show you the range of articulation in this figure, and the reason why I did not buy the Maximum Spider-Man. I saw no need to buy that Spider-Man when this Spider-Man right here can pretty much hit the same poses that other Spider-Man can do. And for me, it just did not, to me, it was like, there's no reason for me to buy that Spider-Man when this Spider-Man right here can pretty much hit a lot of, dynamic posing as well. And for it to be a much earlier release Spider-Man brings into question, did that Maximum Spider-Man need to cost $50? As I was saying, hey, Jada and then Storm Arena, if you go and check out the articulation of those Storm Arena figures, Storm Arena's giving you figures at like $30, and it matches the Maximum Spider-Man. Just go check out, like I said, go check out Articulated Ninja's video on that, and you will see that Hasbro been scheming, scamming, and I've been saying it for a long time. And finally, there's proof to that. And here's more proof. Here's more proof right here with this earlier release Spider-Man. I think the Spider-Man was released in 2021. So you mean to tell me that a 2021 release that can hit pretty much the same poses as the Maximum Spider-Man, and that came in a 3-pack, and the new Maximum Spider-Man is worth $50? No, I don't think so. But what I am saying is that, articulation goes a long way, and Jada Toys might not be the greatest at articulation, but they do mighty fine works when it comes to articulation. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to tell you, have fun with what you collect, buy what you like. Don't let me or anyone else influence you to get something or not get something that you actually want. So with that being said, have fun with your collections. And you know what? If you're hunting.
Ooh, hey, I almost forgot. So about the giveaway. So it's going to be, as I've already posted and said, it's going to be the Mandalorian Tatooine figure and the Dark Trooper. Now, how I'm going to do this is that from 4 days from the day I post this video, I'm going to allow comments to come in. I'm going to give it 4 whole days. And after the 4 days, I'm going to take the comments, subscribers, non-subscribers, doesn't matter. I'm going to throw them in a randomizer, and whatever name gets picked, that's who wins. Now, here's the stipulation, because we had a little issue about, feedback. You have 48 hours from the time that I say, hey, you've won, to get in touch with me, get back with me, and let me acknowledge your win. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go back into the comments and do the randomizer all over again and pass the gift to someone else. And the reason is that I don't want people just sitting here waiting and I never hear from people. I tried to do it one time early. I tried to do a giveaway and let a guy know he won it, and I never heard from him. I don't know if he thought I was being weird or a scam, but no, just trying to share with the collecting community. So with that being said, like I said, 4 days. After 4 days, I'm gonna randomize all the comments, the names of the comments, and whoever wins. You have 48 hours from the time I let you know that you've won to acknowledge your win so I can send you your figure. And with that, you guys, peace.